Dreo electric space heater. This thing is one of many different types that Dreo offers. I've done multiple reviews on Dreo heaters, and this one is my favorite so far, and I'm gonna tell you why here in a second. Let's check it out. Before I go any further with the menu on this, all the features that are on this are also on the remote it comes with. This is a very sleek and sexy remote, very well made. It's not that really cheap plasticky, clanky feel to it. It's got some heft to it, and the buttons are very rubberized texture on the surface of them, and they are tactile, so when you push down you do get a response. Anything on the device is also accessible on the remote, which is fantastic. So out of all the other Dreo space heaters that I've reviewed, this Dreo stands out in a big way. Let me go over the features real fast. Obviously, you have a plugged in indicator right there. It means it is plugged into the wall. Up top, you do have very similar features you get on other Dreo space heaters. You have your power button, you hit that, it turns on. It's in oscillating mode right now, so I'll shut that off. That right there is your oscillating button, so you can hit that, turn it on, turn it off. I don't like ones that go 180 because you're blowing into a wall usually, or into something that you don't want to heat up. Now here is where this space heater stands out from the rest. It definitely is above others in its class because it does have a thermostat inside of it. You can turn this thing on or off depending upon where you want it to go, all the way up to, and it's all the way up to 95 degrees. So it puts out a tremendous amount of heat, and you can bring it all the way down to 41 degrees. So if you want to keep things just above freezing, but not too hot, you can kick it down to 41. If you have this in a storage room with a water tank or something you want to keep from freezing, you can put it on 41 degrees and it'll turn on when that temperature drops below 41 degrees, and it'll start oscillating or doing whatever you want it to do, and it'll continue to stay on until it brings it up to 41 degrees and then it shuts off again. You also can change the setting to have your sound on or off. I like sound off because I don't want all the beeps every time I hit a button, but you can have the beeps, that way when you're hitting buttons you hear exactly what's going on. Lock, you hold this down, counts to 3, and it locks the whole unit. That way, nothing you hit will change anything. So to unlock it, you have to hold it down again, counts to 3 one more time, and then it unlocks. I like that 3 countdown because someone doesn't accidentally hit the lock button and it unlocks it. You can go from 1 hour all the way up to 12 hours of runtime, and then it resets to 0. I keep it at 0 because I don't like to keep a timer on it. I keep the thermostat going so it starts up or shuts off depending upon the temperature in the RV. And then here, this you can go to your heat temperature settings. So H1 is the lowest, H3 is the highest, H2 is the middle ground, and so it's the higher amount of fan and heat. So the fan picks up when you're at H3 or H2, and the heat picks up as well. So it heats up a room a lot faster. So if you have a room that's really cold and you want to bring it up to temperature really fast, turn it on to H3. That's as loud as it gets. Very, very quiet. It is extremely quiet. This does bring me to my only con. I wish there was a way of turning off all the lights on this thing. Just getting rid of all the lights, that way it doesn't make too much brightness in a room and act as a nightlight. There is no way to turn it off. After a while, the display does go dormant and it does look like that. So you won't see it all the time, but if you have it on eco mode and the temperature rises above or below your desired temperature, it will kick back on and the display will show for a while as well. So there's really no way to shut off the lights, which I wish they did have that, but the light is very dim and it eventually does, you know, diminish itself a lot once you don't touch it. So it isn't a huge issue, but it is a con. I wish there was an off function. You didn't have to worry about the lights at all. And then oscillation button right here as well. That'll oscillate and keep going. And you can stop or pause that any direction you want to have the heater pointed at. And you can use that once again with the remote as well. I will state right now, this Dreo space heater is one of the best, if not the best, compact ceramic heaters I've ever used. It is very powerful. It's very quiet. Very well made, sleek and sexy. It's got the digital display that's inside. The clock countdown you see here is always going to happen once it's been running. That countdown from 30 seconds to 0 is to cool off the ceramic plate. That way when you want to store it or put it away somewhere, it's not hot anymore. It takes cold air and cycles it over top the ceramic plate. That way you don't have a hot heater that you're putting away, which is a cool feature. It's impressive. Sleek, it's sexy, it does everything you want it to do, and it's in a very affordable price range.